Hello everybody, I hope you're really enjoying our live event today, and now we've got a really exciting opportunity to speak to some apprentices so we can get some views about what an apprenticeship is like and hear from apprentices themselves. So first of all, we're just going to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Holly and I'm currently studying at Mark Rutherford School to get a qualification in events management.
Hi, my name's Brannon Tuttle. I'm studying at the University of Hertfordshire for a mechanical engineering degree.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I currently work at Semlet and I'm doing a level 4 public relations qualification.
That's fantastic. So as you can see watching, we've got people here with lots of different experiences that we can draw upon today. So first of all, so Brandon, what made you choose an apprenticeship over going to university?
So really it was the practical experience that I really wanted to kind of dive into. I realised during my A-levels that I'm a practical learner rather than kind of a books learner. So with the apprenticeship, that was a great opportunity because I've been thrown in from day one. I'm getting my hands dirty and learning in the best way possible.
Fantastic. Holly or Taylor, have you got anything to add to that? What made you
I'm the
choose
same. During my A-levels, I realised that I didn't enjoy the exam process as much as I did when we were doing practicals in class and stuff like that. So I decided that rather than going to university, I preferred to do an apprenticeship.
I just didn't want to, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I didn't want to commit all the money to a degree that I might not use. Because you just hear, I feel like I always hear of people, oh, I've got a degree in this, but I work in this. And I was like, how can I just skip out the middleman and just start a job, see if I like it, and maybe move around if needed?
Yeah, absolutely, because it is a financial commitment to go to university with all the fees. So this is another fantastic route, isn't it? So yeah, in terms of actually applying for your apprenticeship, what kind of grades did you have to get at school, or was there anything specific that you needed for your apprenticeship? Holly, if you could let us know about that.
Yeah, for me, I just needed passes in my GCSEs and A-levels. They weren't asking for anything specific, but I knew when I was looking around that if I wanted to go for somewhere like Unilever, which is more science-based, and they were looking for A-levels of like Bs and As in biology, chemistry. So I think it does depend on the organisation that you're looking for.
Okay. Brandon, how about yourself?
Yeah, so my company, John Crane, they were looking for ABB. There's a few other companies that I applied for that maybe were slightly lower or slightly, higher. But mostly I'd say for a degree apprenticeship, you're going to be looking at C's or 3 C's for kind of your basic degree apprenticeship. And then obviously there's a few companies who kind of specialize and they'll want a bit more from you.
Absolutely. Taylor?
So I started doing, when I was 17, I did a level 3 apprenticeship in digital marketing and social media. And for that, I needed 3, I just needed a GCSE in English and maths. That was it. But I had 3 A-levels, 11 GCSEs, whatever it was. I got all of the qualifications. And then once I'd finished that, to move on to my level 4, all I needed was a level 3 apprenticeship.
Okay, so it's really interesting because there's quite a lot of flexibility then around the grades from GCSEs all the way through to A-levels or a previous apprenticeship. So that's good. You've also all spoken about how you all did a lot of research about the apprenticeship. So how did you find your apprenticeships? What did you do to find opportunities? Taylor?
So I really didn't know what I wanted to. I literally had no idea what I wanted to do. I'd applied to university to study fashion and I was just not sure on it. So I just went on the government website and searched apprenticeship and applied, I think, to everyone in a 10-mile radius by just clicking apply, which wasn't the best method to do it. But I got an interview with a woman called from an apprenticeship provider and her name was Mercedes. And I thought I'd got an interview with Mercedes, the company. And I was like, I didn't even know I applied for I went and I was so confused. But yeah, on the government site is where I found my apprenticeship. And there's loads and loads and loads.
Holly, Brandon, where did you look? Did you look
Yeah,
on
I
the
was the
government?
same as Taylor, government website, and looking at like different organisations who I knew did do apprenticeships and seeing if they had any positions available. Talking to teachers at school as well really helped because they were able to guide me in the right direction or say, well, I don't think you're best suited to this path in this company, but why don't you try this one?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Brandon,
would say definitely the Gov website is, I think legally, if they use the apprenticeship levy, then they're supposed to advertise on there. So I'd say 99% of the apprenticeships will be on that website. And also it's good because you can filter by level. And also like you can search for a specific thing like science or engineering or mechanical engineering. So it really filters kind of the ones that you want to look at. And then also I do some research on the companies who are advertising, because some of them have a good reputation for like dealing with younger or apprenticeship, and some of them might not have the best. So you need to kind of look into that.
well, hey, look, all three of you have said the same site where you went to, so that's a really good starting point for our viewers and today. Something else that we did kind of touch upon earlier, we spoke about the financial side of apprenticeships. Obviously, that's something which is quite beneficial. So how did that, Holly, how did that side of things make up your mind about an apprenticeship or support you through your apprenticeship?
I think it helped, like knowing in the back of my mind that I wasn't going to have to pay the full amount that you would if you were going to university. So it does give you a little bit of reassurance knowing that you're going to go into it, you're not going to come out with debt at the end of it. And obviously you've got there's a downside to the apprenticeship being the low pay. But I think at the end of it, I know for myself, I'm guaranteed a job when I finish my apprenticeship. So that's always good just to know in the back of your mind that, okay, yeah, it's not great at the moment, but it will get better going forward. And that you've got all that experience that you wouldn't have straight out of university, which also really helps.
Yeah, definitely. When I started my apprenticeship when I was 17, I was on £10,000, and I would have earned more money if I would have picked up my Saturday job full time. But the reason that I stayed on is after the first year I moved to 18 grand. After that I moved to 22 and a half, and now I'm just about to jump again. I don't have an exact figure, but I imagine around £27,500, and that's within 3 years. And although I had to take the financial hit the first year, that's now, it's replicated in my salary following the apprenticeship, which if you're coming out of university, realistically a grad job in our local area is probably about £22,500 as a starting point. Whereas as an apprentice, you can just skip through that, which is great, a great benefit.
So it's you're taking that short-term hit for that long-term gain. You're investing in your future really well. Brandon, anything you'd like to add on about finances, how that's helped you?
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of the amount of money that you receive is kind of based on the area and also the level that you do. So depending on the level, as you go up, obviously the pay will increase. So at a level 6, you're looking at around probably £16,000 for the first year. And then it depends where you are. Because I'm London based, I get a little bit more. But yeah, it's good because you need the money to live, and also I can save a little bit on the side as well. So it's perfect.
Yeah, I guess that's another thing to factor in as well, isn't it? Whether you take an opportunity that's closer to your local area, or whether you might have to move away from home, for example. Have any of you moved away from home?
I can answer that. Yeah, I've moved 2.5 hours. So I've moved from a little place called Kings Lynn in Norfolk, and now I'm Reading side of London. I work in Slough. I live in a little town called Maidenhead, which is about a 15-minute drive. But because I'm closer to London, the rent is quite significantly higher, but the pay compensates for that as well. So I'm able to live. I can go out on the weekends, have a few drinks, go for food, and I'm still able to save, say, £200, £300 a month. So, and that's including, my car, and food and any other costs like that. So it's pretty good.
So that's fantastic. That's really good. And so from your point of view, Brandon, you probably not feel like you've missed out on that kind of student experience, maybe because you've maybe moved away from home, and as you say, it's given you different freedoms that you might have had if you were on a university campus or a university course.
Yeah, I would say it's quite different to the university vibe. I've moved quite far away, so I don't see any of the friends that I used to see. So I'd say the downside to an apprenticeship, if you choose a smaller company or a medium-sized company, which I have, I'm the only apprentice that they've taken on in my sector. So I don't have kind of any other people my age to kind of talk to. But with my apprenticeship training provider, the University of Hertfordshire, I know there's 5 of them from a company called MBDA. They're a missiles company. So there's 5 of them, so they can, make friends and go out on the weekends, because they're all going to be local based to the office or to wherever they work.
Okay, so we're kind of building up a picture here that each of your experiences are very, very different. In fact, I think it'd be good to find out a bit more about the experiences of your actual courses. So this would be good to hear from each of you. If I go to Holly first. So yeah, the course itself. So how often did you have to attend? How many hours a week were you working? Like, what was the makeup of your course?
So I work 35 hours a week, and the course is made up of, overall, I've got to do 482 hours over an 18-month period of pure apprenticeship work, whether that be coursework or prepping for exams, that kind of thing. And then I can split that time up weekly, monthly. However, I have monthly meetings with my training provider. That's an external hospitality company. So I don't go to a university or anything like that. I'm learning on the job. So it is, it's helpful to have that time. I know that I've got dedicated hours per week to take a step back from the day-to-day job that I'm doing, and I can just focus on the apprenticeship, getting that side of it done. So then after the 18 months, I can finish.
Taylor, what's the experience of your course?
So for my first apprenticeship, I had to go to a college once a month, and that was fine. It wasn't that much time. I had to do some reports as well within that. But I think technically an apprenticeship should take up 20% of your time. So like one day a week. So like within my apprenticeship, I've always had Mondays. Don't email Taylor on a Monday because I'll just not reply. And so, but for my second apprenticeship, I haven't had a college. Well, I've been with a training provider that's been based in London. So I've not actually had to go and visit them. They've sent a mentor to visit me. And I've just wrote reports. It was supposed to take 18 months, but I think I managed to complete it within, well, I'm just at the end of it now. I should get my results within 2 weeks. But I have someone, I have someone come out and visit me, and I've just had to write some reports and things. So it has not been, and although it's meant to be 20%, I'd say it's probably been about 15, 10. It depends on the apprenticeship and the level. For example, I imagine, Brandon, with a degree, you've got a lot more hands-on time.
So yeah, legally it's 20%. With the degree side of things, I do my courses on a Monday, but sometimes I can carry on maybe 3 or 4 hours, maybe in the evening on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever after work. And then the other 4 days, apart from a half day on a Friday, then I'm based at my workstation.
Okay. So again, you've all got, there's similar things to all 3 of your experiences. I'd like to just go into the support that's available, because sometimes things don't necessarily go the way that you want them to. Did you feel like you're really well supported through your apprenticeship? So did like your employers give you really good support and advice if things were challenging? Taylor?
I think it's definitely a lot of independent learning within your apprenticeship side, but because every day you focus on your job, you just do it. You have to learn. Like, for example, like in the beginning, when I was working on social media, I'd draft tweets and then get my manager to sign them off. And as you're there longer, it gradually becomes more natural. And then the apprenticeship side is just reflecting what you're already learning. So with the apprenticeship side, you get the support while you're there because they're training you on how to do a job. It's like if you were to go work at Starbucks, you're trained on how to make a coffee. If you go and work in a business, you're trained on how to write a tweet. But then you just reflect that when you're apprenticeship. I don't know if you guys' experiences are the same.
Yeah, I totally agree. Definitely. It's just you learn it as you're going along, and you ask for support, and support's given to you if you need it. You can talk to like anybody really. It doesn't matter who I go to for help. They'll give up their time to help me. And it's just learning. You do a new task, you know how to, that you can then carry that forward. So it is really helpful when you've got the support all around you.
Yeah, definitely on the business side of things, everyone in the organisation is extremely helpful. Like I'll go to them, I'll say, I'm new, can you help me out on this? Can you help me on that? And they're definitely going to take 5 minutes or 10 minutes out of their day because they've got that knowledge and they want to pass it on because, you know, when they retire, there's going to be nothing for them to do. So they want to give this knowledge to the younger generation who's coming through the business so that then they can carry on.
And it makes their job easier in the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're getting the expertise as you go along. So that's fantastic. So you've obviously all chosen and are doing apprenticeships. So what are your long-term goals from taking that route? Brandon, you got a big smile on your face, so I'll come to you first.
Well, obviously, multi-millionaire, but no. I'm looking to probably move within my company. They've got a lot of good opportunities. Maybe not now because I need to do the learning side of things. So I'm going to be based here and I need to do the learning. But later on, they've already said about opportunities going abroad and kind of there's different roles within the company that you can, because you're already within the company, you kind of get a little bit of a head start when you're applying to these roles because your line manager knows you, they'll give you a good reference. So, and also they're advertised to employees first, which is a really good thing. Yeah,
definitely. Holly, what about you? What are your long-term goals?
Yeah, honestly, at the moment, I don't really know. It's just the case of I really enjoy what I'm doing at the moment, working within the field of events, and I find that really interesting. And it's like it plays to my strengths a lot. So I think that I would carry on within that field, whether it be in a school like I'm in now, or if it's something completely different, like wedding planning or working in a hotel or something. There's just quite a lot out there. So it'd be a case of seeing what takes my fancy, I guess, when it's time to move on.
But whilst you're doing that, you know, you're developing like transferable skills and you're upskilling yourself and getting experience, which is
definitely. And you also meet quite loads of people and make such good contacts that going forward you can go to someone from a different company and say like, oh hey, I worked with you a few years ago, like, and your feedback was really great. So like I really value your opinion and your help, and then you can just gain knowledge and I guess relationships that way.
Okay. And Taylor, how about you?
So I'm just coming to the end of my apprenticeship, and so career-wise, I've just been like, because we're quite a small organisation, my role develops rather than being able to apply for promotion as such. So my role's just changed again. So I'm really excited about starting that and moving forward. And within the next year or so, I really hope to buy a house. And having an apprenticeship, haven't earned a salary for the last 3 years, like I'm in a really good position. Saved all my money away, and I've got the salary to get a mortgage now, so that's enabled me to do that, and that's something I want to do more than, for example, go to university. I'd rather have a house now, if you see what I mean, in my priorities, but I completely understand different routes.
That's exciting stuff. So if you had to say what the best thing, if you could pick one thing, the best thing about doing an apprenticeship, what would that be? One thing. Is there anyone that wants to go first on this one?
Non-seriously, there's a cake table in the office when you're there, and that is always stocked. Love it, but probably just the opportunities. Like there are so many opportunities, and like you're a part of a team, you're in a stable, like the security is like great for an apprenticeship because you've got the job. A lot of the times, sometimes you have to work to get the job, but once you've got it, you're set then, and your career is on the right path, and your career is on the right path from the age of when you start your apprenticeship. You're not worried about your future. You know where you're heading.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really fun just to meet new people and get their experience. And I just love the hands-on element of it. You're literally learning everything new. Every day is different, but you don't have to you're not looking at a book the whole time, you're not studying. So yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Super. Well, Brandon, was there anything you wanted to add on that?
No, not really. That's pretty much it all covered, I think. Yeah.
Well, so we've got lots of people viewing today who may well be considering taking the apprenticeship route. What advice would you give those people who are considering to apply to study an apprenticeship? Yeah, what advice would you give them? Brandon?
I'd say it depends what year you are. If you're in year 12, I'm talking from a degree apprenticeship point of view here. If you're in year 12, I'd say start looking on the Gov website and start looking at the different types of apprentice or different fields that you think you'd want to go in. If you're in year 13, I'd start looking at the different companies. And you really want to be doing that at the start of September, because that's when say the good ones come on, and you kind of want to be an early applicant because they are quite competitive. I think sometimes they can be more than an Oxbridge place because you've maybe got one position and you'll have like 300 applicants or something like that. But yeah, I'd just say start early and get a know-how of what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's really helpful as well just to look at different application forms and see what they're going to want. Is it more of a CV type of application, or do you have to write more of a personal statement and talking about your different skills? I know for my application, they listed different skills, and I had to demonstrate where I have shown that in the past and events that I'd run when I was a student, how I demonstrated those skills throughout them. So it is really helpful just looking at different organizations' application process. Even if you decide it's not for me, it's helpful experience to get just going through the application process.
I think identify your skills, because when I applied, I just applied for anything, and although fashion and marketing and PR are really different, there's some key elements like creativity, that you transfer and you take across, and that's one of my key things is I'm such a visual person, and I've been able to bring that through from fashion to PR. And it's just, I take the time to think about what are your key skills, ask your friends, ask your colleagues, ask your parents, your teachers, and get to know them in order to pick the right career for you. Because the apprenticeships, you can do them in virtually any career. You've just got to find the right apprenticeship in the right industry that you want.
Yeah.
But first of all, get to know what you want to do. You don't have to commit to anything right now. You don't have to commit to a career for your life, but it's a good starter.
Just to kind of add on to that, I'd say the difference between an apprenticeship and kind of the university application process is, say with UCAS, you only have 5 choices and then you have to take them down to 2. Whereas with an apprenticeship, in mechanical engineering, there's hundreds of companies who are doing a degree apprenticeship, and they're all within similar fields. So if you apply for, say, 20, you might only get interviews for, say, 5 of them, and then out of the 5, you might get all 5 offers or etc. But at least you've had the opportunity to kind of apply for more than, say, 5 with the university, and there's no limit. So if you want to sit down and do 100 applications, you can do 100 applications. If you only see one apprenticeship, say, I don't know, say EDF, you really want to do that specific one, you don't have to apply to any more. It's completely up to you.
I think all 3 of you are giving some fantastic advice there. Know yourself and develop your transferable skills. Make sure you understand the application process and be an early bird. Look early when the opportunities are out there. So, hey, all three of you have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that our viewers today have picked up a lot of valuable information about apprenticeships. So thank you very much. Holly, Taylor and Brandon will be with us on the chat facility. So if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask them, make sure you type them away and they will get back to you. Other than that, speak to you soon.